get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today's Friday, March 14th. S&P is up 47. NASDAQ up 226. Russell up 23. Dow's up 236. Gold is up 0.5%. Silver up 1%. Notes and bonds red. 10-year yield up 0.79. Sorry for my voice here. Oil's up 0.33%. Natural gas is down 3. Euro a little bit green, pound a little bit red. Bitcoin is up 4%. VIX contracting down a little over 3%, currently at 23.89. A lot of stocks are strong this morning. In fact, on my watch list, I've got Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, and Verizon are small red. Everything else is green. Crypto stocks, some of the strongest chip stocks. I mean, everything's up. Meta. Tesla. We do have, excuse me, we do have a little report at 9 a.m., 30 minutes after the market opens. Preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So the consumer sentiment is kind of it's a survey based on, which can be an indication of spending, but not typically a huge market mover. We got Google and Microsoft with a little bit of a sell-off right before the close. Coinbase, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, all trading near their pre-market highs. Everything's just been kind of grinding up all night. Piton is up 8% overnight. Back above $6. Ulta is up 7%. Oh, Ulta had earnings. As far as the chip stock goes, MU is the strongest. It's up almost 4%. PLTR is also up 4%. MSTR up 4%. Could we actually get some continuation higher today? Could it be? Could it be? Opening bell here coming in a few seconds. Looks like the expected move for SPX today, 51.7. Yesterday was 53.7, so a couple points lower. I am going to let my Rick fire. It's going to have a small upside profit, so I will most likely close it early. Expected move in NDX is 200.9. Compared to 240 yesterday. Get those marked on my charts. VIX gap down 2.96%. Yep, it just fired. So posting that. I'm on the for that put calendar, I'm on the 55.80 strike. Rick also fired. A tiny upside profit. I got till the 18.15. So unless we get a quick down move, I'll just be closing it. Hey, Abosh and Chuck the Canuck. We are in the day trading chat for this live stream. Tesla pushing, Nvidia pushing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So S&P and NASDAQ up a little since the open. Some of these stocks really pushing. Apple coming alive. Coinbase pushing. All right. Apple looking strong. Microsoft and Google had that little sell-off right before the open, but they're bouncing back. MU started off strongest, and it is getting stronger, up over 8%. A lot of strength across the board today so far. Got some retailers that are red. Walmart's down. Home Depot, Costco. But all big tech is up. Up, and away. Nvidia up 4%. Wow. PLTR is now up 7.5. Got a couple minutes left on this second bar. MSTR's volume looks like it's got a possibility of getting there. Maybe PLTR. Reddit. Let's see what Reddit's options look like. I'll be trading the 7 DTE today. Reddit's pretty wide. So MSTR is going to get there, and it's already pulling back a little bit. Netflix. Netflix also has a volume bar. So just kind of glancing at a daily chart of both Netflix and MSTR. MSTR is all candle almost running red. I'm going to hold off here. PLTR didn't quite get there. Netflix did. I'll see if Netflix wants to pull back a little bit. So let me put Netflix over here. So oops. So really the exit point on a volume runner is the low of that bar that had the big volume. So if you get in here, you've got to, for me, I've got to really size down. So like today I'm trading 7 DTE, so I'm using $4,000 of buying power on a normal position, but based on the amount of distance down to below that candle, I would have to size down to probably maybe 2,000 of buying power to reduce my risk, because that where I'd stop myself out is so far away. So you can either do that, size down position, or you can wait to see if it's going to pull back more to give you a little bit better risk reward. Of course, the obvious issue with that is if it takes off, you miss it. And like the 7 DTE options, that the 915 call is $1,900. So essentially I'd be buying one of those right now if I was going to get into this. So I'm just going to wait. I'll just wait for something else. Seeing a little pullback here. S&P is staying up, but NASDAQ is pulling back a little bit. MSTR had a pretty decent little reversal there. Tesla rolled over. Could not hold above yesterday's high. While everything is dipping, SMCI is not. It's still staying strong. Apple is had a little dip, but its dip got bought right back up. SMCI is holding above its pre-market highs. Yeah, S&P acting a little bit stronger than the NASDAQ here in this current bar. See if SMCI takes off here. It's kind of holding it dipped the least out of a lot of these stocks on this little pullback, holding pre-market highs. Netflix getting a little bit of a bounce back up. Google pretty choppy. Tesla back and forth. Coin popped and then sold off. Netflix popping back up towards highs of day. Anybody get in Netflix? It was a good setup. It just kind of, I didn't really have a level to manage risk around, and the risk to the bottom of that candle was just a little bit much for the size of the contracts in it. Netflix. PLTR had almost a volume bar and it's holding near its highs. Tesla coming down. PSM also holding above its pre-market high. SPX and NDX both up close to, well, NDX is at yesterday's high. SPX just below it. S&P up 70, NASDAQ up 336. Pretty crazy, like the sell-off. I was just looking at this morning where, I mean, it's literally been since the sell-off started, which was February 19th, so about a month ago. And we've had only a couple instances where price actually even pushed up above the previous day's high. You know, did it here on the 26th, did it here on the 3rd, did it here on the 12th, but immediately got sold off. So literally any poke above the previous day's high was sold off for the last month. So the question is today the day that we get some follow through? We've seen some strength in the morning many times in the last month that ended up getting sold off. SMCI starting to move up. And Netflix is working through highs of day. Need Tesla, Apple, and Nvidia all to stay strong if there's going to be any kind of follow through. Seems like one of those has been really lagging every day at least. So there's definitely some winners here so far off of pre-market highs. SMCI is working. Uber, AMD, MSTR. Microsoft. Goes Nvidia through highs. AMD through highs. Tesla coming back down to lows. Apple chopping just below highs of that first 5-minute bar. S&P is kind of straight up through yesterday's high. Seen a little pause in the indices and seen some pulling back. Meta not staying super strong. Tesla kind of the weakest price action since the open for all the big boys. JPM. Oh yeah. Yeah, nice little volume spike. Bitcoin is still up 4.6%. Trading at the highs. Almost back above 84,000. S&P still pushing. Uber's really pushing. I'm interested to see if we get an actual pullback in the indices. I want to see which of these stocks holds up the best. Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, the volume runner available and Netflix is too big. I could have taken a couple off pre-market highs, but I've just, I've, I don't know. I like waiting a little bit. I like being a little more patient. But don't let me stop you. If you see something you think is rock solid, jump on. AVGO kind of selling off. TSM, a little pullback. NVIDIA, a little pullback. So the chips pulling back a little bit. The SMCI is holding up well still, above pre-market highs. That's one I've been watching. Yeah, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations incoming. 2.5 minutes. Bitcoin coming down. Tesla's still coming down. If you took the JPM trade, based depending on where you got in, you may have already hit a first profit target on that mighty 90. Well, the news has not come out yet, but seeing a little bit of a sell-off. Amazon back down towards lows. Netflix rolled over. Meta getting weak. Meta, Tesla weak. Both are still up over 1%, but weak price action. See what this news does, if anything. It's coming down, ladies and gents. All news is bad news, apparently. 1 year inflation forecast was 4.3, actual 4.9. So that was a little hotter than expected. Consumer sentiment forecast 63, actual 57.9. So yeah, coming in a little negative on both of those. All right, so now that we've got a flush, let's see if anything's holding up. Nothing's holding up. Microsoft, little dips getting bought up kind of quickly. ELTR pulled back to yesterday's high and bouncing. So I'm watching the two I'm kind of focused on potentially here are SMCI. Excuse me. SMCI, if it gets back and holds above pre-market highs here, and Microsoft, but it's not as strong on this bounce. So really SMCI. I'd be trading the 41 calls, but I'm gonna give it a minute. SMCI here on the board. Pre-market highs right here. All right, I'm gonna get in. 41 calls, SMCI. Build at 240. So my pre-market high is kind of my line in the sand here. Market had a quick flush reaction to the news, but looks like it's wanting to bounce so far. First profit target's at 260. Make a little pop above highs, should hit. Got right back up to highs of day, which is usually where I try to take some profits. Thought we might punch through, but not yet. PLTR, nice bounce off of yesterday's high. NVIDIA came down and tagged its pre-market high. Apple selling off. It came right down to its pre-market high. See if it holds here. Need Apple and Tesla and NVIDIA to work together today. We're going to have any kind of continuation. BABA came down a couple times to its yesterday's high, bounced. Baidu flushed into negative territory, bounced right back into positive. Tesla trying to bounce. Google came down to dipped into negative territory before bouncing. Nice bounce in PLTR. Back up to highs. Uber back through highs. Let's go. Everybody up. MCI close to hitting my profit target. Didn't quite tick it. Didn't quite tick through it. Hood through highs. Netflix had quite a little flush. Netflix had a nice mighty 90 actually. Nice bounce. Come on, SMCI. You didn't quite fill my order. You tapped it. NASDAQ bounced back up to yesterday's high. Kind of got rejected a little bit. Bitcoin sold off through lows of day. Popped back up a little bit, but it's not acting super strong. Tesla acting weak. Apple still chopping right around its pre-market highs. Amazon acting weak. Google pretty choppy weak. Nvidia chopping above its first 5-minute bar. Microsoft kind of rolled over. Coinbase acting weak. VIX is down 4.3%. So even with this little kind of choppy pullback, SMCI is still staying strong. I like that. Good relative strength. Hood acting strong. AVGO really fell apart. Still holding my Rick. Haven't done anything with it yet, but if we start chopping, I'll probably just close it. Come on, SMCI. We need an extension. Extension higher out of you. Nope. Things are coming down. Apple through lows. Tesla near lows. Amazon lows. Man, Apple just can't hold its head up. Apple red every day this week. On the verge of going red again today. All right, SMCI, just waiting for things to bottom. Now it's popping. I like it. I like it. I missed it, Dark Avenger. Did you have an opinion on something? Not sure what you're referring to. You know how I feel about opinions. Well, well. NASDAQ is trading at lows of day. S&P not quite down there. Tesla trying to bounce off of its low. PLTR is holding up pretty well. Got a little choppy sloppy around the news report, but ended up holding fairly well. Nvidia holding above its pre-market highs. It's I like that setup. I'm already in SMCI, which is somewhat correlated, so I'm not going to take both, but I like Nvidia long here. I like SMCI. I mean, it's been kind of choppy. It hasn't really extended, but it's up over 5%, holding well during that little pullback. I think if this market can bounce, it will. It's a big if. This market bouncing has not been its strong suit. Dark Avenger, you tagging yourself? Intel? Yeah, Intel had that big pop yesterday. I didn't see what that was all about, but looks like it's getting a little. No, it's barely green. It's kind of dipped into the red a couple times. Oh, they got a new CEO. Okay. All right, Apple almost down to unchanged. Trying to stay green. Bitcoin's coming down. It's only up 3.4% now after being up almost 5. PLTR starting to pop. Hood back up towards highs. No bounce in the indices. No bounce in Apple. SMCI back down to pre-market high. Microsoft acting weak. Amazon bounced off of its lows a little bit. Google trying to stay green. Apple going red. Not what we're looking for out of you, Apple. Indices coming down, everything coming down. Need SMCI to hold here. Yeah, I know. It ticked my profit target, just didn't fill. See if SPX can bounce off of its low of day. NASDAQ trying to bounce off of its low of day. Apple trying to bounce off of unchanged. PLTR looks like it wants to take off. Nvidia catching a little bounce. SMCI catching a little bounce. AMD bouncing. Some of these chips starting to pop a little bit. Get some follow through though. Tired of these little pops that give you nothing. We need lots of highs of day. Oh, my late Rick just fired. Still pretty expensive. All right, SMCI back up to highs of day, but had a little premium decay, so my profit target did not hit yet. So close again. So close. No follow through. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Moel. So we didn't get filled. Oh, you got filled? All right. I did not. What did you get filled at? 259. You took my order. I'm at 260. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. You never heard that? You've never heard it either? Where have you guys been? Close only counts in horseshoes. You know the game horseshoes? and hand grenades. You ever played horseshoes? There you go. I thought that was like a well-known saying. Oh, SMCI, what is going on? Robin Hood rolling over. Mm-mm-mm. Bitcoin's pulling us down. Bitcoin couldn't hold and it's trading at lows of day. Still up over 3% from the gap up, but just no continuation power here in this market. Still. What's everybody in? Is anybody in anything besides SMCI? MU still up almost 6%. It's just kind of had a little bit of a trailing pullback. Ooh, Vail. Good luck in those ski lines. Have they cleaned that shit up yet? I heard it's miserable. They sold way too many passes. And so it's like waiting an hour to get in line. There you go, Dark Avenger. Now you know. If you know, you know. My SMCI was close, but it was a failure. It has not hit profit target. Close doesn't count. Moel, did you already go out? How are the lines? Have they fixed that? I know they paid their ski patrol, so they're not on strike, but I've heard the lines at the lifts are miserable. SMCI giving it all back from the last 5 minute bar. Oh, very nice. Must be nice to be one of the elite. You don't have to mess with all the peasants. Apple staying green and bouncing. Needed to lift its buddies here. Tesla moved all the way down to unchanged. Now it's bouncing. Google flushed through unchanged. Maybe maybe they just needed to spook the children a little bit, get everybody thinking it was going down again. S&P and NASDAQ had to tick through lows of day. Maybe that's just me, hopeful thinking. Never know. All right, guys, I'll be back in 1 minute. Well, looks like nothing's changed since I left. Sorry, I had to got a message from my front desk guy that my lights were on. I drove my wife's car to my office today, and I apparently didn't turn the car off. So I had to go take care of that. All right, SMCI bouncing back. It's getting premium decayed here, even though there's 7-day options. The estimation of where my profit target would hit. It used to be at about $41.40. Now it's all the way up to 41.60 because of premium decay. Man, MU still pulling back. AMD is holding. It bounced off of its pre-market's high and is holding above yesterday's high. Oh yeah, BABA flushing. Apple kind of rolling back over. All right, guys, it's pretty choppy. I'm gonna jump off here. This thing starts moving again. I will Try to find some more opportunities, but not a lot going on right now. I'm gonna hold SMCI. If I get a 5-minute close below the pre-market highs, I will bail. Otherwise, I will scale out as it explodes higher, which is what I want to see. All right, all. So that's it for today. Everybody have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in Power Hour. Take care.